Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's streaming live from TFcon Toronto. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello.
Imported from WTF at TFW, Aaron.
Hey, how you doing?
And Darryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, let's talk Transformers.
All right, well, normally I would plug our Patreon and stuff, but we'll skip over that and we'll get right into talking about TFcon and how much fun we had this year. Did everyone have fun at TFcon?
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone still have money in their wallets?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
That should be a question.
That's might be enough for gas money? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, we've been coming to TFcon for a long time. I think Darryl's been coming the longest because he is Canadian, so he's, you know.
Yes, yeah, but only 2011, I think, was my first one, so yeah.
Okay.
Noob.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, we love coming to TFcon. We've I think we've done lots of things here. You know, there's always lots to see, lots to do. Awesome creators to talk to, voice artists, comic artists. It's, you know, we have a great time every year. Of course, one of the things that's really people really check out is the third-party panel. So all the third-party toys that came out that are announced this year. Was there, let's talk about what our favorites were. So maybe Darryl, what did you see?
I mean, that third-party panel. I mean, I'm always in for it. It started off with a figure that I'm in for, is the Primus from what was it?
Studio Cell?
Moon Studios.
Moon Studio, yeah. So I got the Studio Cell from them already, and I'm pot committed. I think I'm getting the Primus. So yeah, that thing looks gorgeous, and yeah, I'm in. So yeah, anybody else in for the Primus? Yeah, that thing looks gorgeous. So yeah, right on. Yeah, cool. Hey, you guys like that? No, you're not.
Yeah.
I know you guys. I know you guys don't like the Unicron, or
yeah.
you don't have it. So, but yeah, that Primus is amazing.
No, Primus, that was good. It was good companion to Unicron, of course. You know, darkness and light. Aaron, anything pop out for you? At the third-party
I
panel?
skipped the panel, but looked at all the slides immediately afterwards, as is tradition. It seems like sometimes, but always the thing that I dig on here is getting the Iron Factory, the pocket scale guys, and seeing their very samurai shogun styled things that are upcoming. The Grimlock, especially in his beast mode, he has the two flags on top of it.
That looks really good.
That was very much okay. And when? When's this coming out? It'll be out for
it was
Chicago, maybe.
Yeah.
The prototype was supposed to be here, right? And they didn't get here on time.
I think so. There's quite a bit of that.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but it's the whole thing's coming and it's going to be here soon. So that's everyone's going to be able to get their copy and get their fix. So yeah, right on. No, that's awesome.
I like that lockdown. That lockdown looked pretty.
Yeah.
That was pretty. It's pretty sexy there.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
What do you think, Jeremy?
A few months ago, I got some of those Doctor Wu, I don't know what the line's called, but the tiny, 3-inch, if that, tall figures, and just the new one, like the RC, it looks great. So I'm kind of getting into these tiny figures because they're affordable and they don't take up any space at all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I liked the New Age figure, that RC New Age figure. That looked pretty cool. I mean, it looked very posable. RC seems to have a bit of a backpack problem in a lot of the figures that get released, and that one seemed to be doing pretty good. And the legs actually seem to be part of the transformation rather than just folding
Along
up
for the ride.
Yeah.
And the Alita one, I thought that Alita one that was near the end looked pretty cool too.
Yeah, Alita 1 figures, and you commented on it at the time, is that it just has a problem with the hat. Can't get away from Alita 1 and her hat. So, yeah. But it looks good. The future of third party is, it's always, a little finicky, but it's still chugging away, and I think their quality is getting...
Chug's a different line.
It's getting. I think the quality is getting much better.
Yeah.
And it started. It wasn't nothing to sneeze at before, but it's just upping its game.
I actually had that conversation with a couple of like designer folks lately of it seems like they're getting more an idea of like the actual like industrial pipeline and manufacturing pipelines in comparison to, if you remember some of those very earliest third-party stuff that was always almost like styrene plastic and nothing that was very playable, that was all very, like this is a statue thing, not a transforming robot that happens to have another statue thing hidden in it versus now it's, other than production runs and, manufacturability and child safety things are coming close to par with traditional manufacturing.
Yeah, and I mean, outside of mainline, obviously, it's I think the quality of a lot of this stuff is far beyond that. It's very high quality stuff. What do you say we give away our first prize? Why do we do that? Let's see. Let's take a bit of a poll of in the room. Who's got the most expensive thing? Who bought the most expensive thing this weekend? Okay, all right. We got 2 hands up. What do you guys get?
Come up to the mic.
Yeah.
Come up to the Q&A mic.
What do you guys get? I wanna see here. What are we working with?
All right, well, I got a complete Action Master Optimus Prime 310.
310. Can anybody beat $310?
$310. Okay.
Next
all right,
man in
all right,
line,
all
he
right.
is sure.
Yeah. I definitely think I beat that. I got the, by total fluke, I was looking for the Military Titans Fall of Cybertron Onslaught, and one of the tables had that, but it was only selling with the San Diego Comic-Con Bruticus, and decided to go in on it.
Okay.
And in total paid $520.
Whew.
520.
520 in one shot. And anybody beat that?
Nobody went for that, the Beast Wars BotCon set that was there for $3,000. Nobody grabbed that one.
It was nice to see it.
Yeah. Nobody bought the Unicron that I was selling for $2,000. But yeah, there was a Sentinel on sale. So we got the most expensive thing bought. You got a Bumblebee Pez dispenser and some HasCon Monopoly money. There you go. Congratulations.
Make it right, dude. Make it right.
So I wanted to ask what you guys thought of the Victory Leo from Planet X and how that compares to the Victory Leo, the HasLab one that's coming out. What did you guys think?
I need a picture.
I got it.
Yeah, that was, I saw it. That's,
Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. I think it looks amazing. Planet X has their style right now, and they're really, they've gone away from doing the video game style, and they're really leaning into this other kind of, I don't know, house style, and I'm all in. I really like it. Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
I think I'll probably still be excited for my HasLab entry. Planet X is always significant, it feels like, in their size and scale, which is cool for a lot of people, but not for my house anymore.
It's outside the scale of detail shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they're asking other questions, and I feel like I need to vamp for time.
Nope, I am getting the mic troubles.
Okay.
Everyone.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Victory Leo?
I think it looks okay. I don't really have too much connection to the character, but I have the HasLab coming, and I'm just going to be happy with that.
Yeah. It's not like the HasLab one's going to be any sort of slouch, though, either.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's going to, from everything we've seen, it's going to look great too. And, I like that there's enough diversity in the marketplace for people to get the version that they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my feeling too. I also went in for the Victory Leo figure on the HasLab Victory Leo. So, yeah, I always wonder what how the decisions get made for the third party companies, because they're kind of you're probably planning 1 or 2 years out. So what happens if the figure you picked Hasbro decides to do, and there's always that competition there. So I don't know.
Since we brought it up a little bit, I wanted to ask Aaron and maybe poll the audience a bit. But the are you worried about the white plastic on the Victory Saber?
It's not a thing I directly thought about. I know it's been an issue lately, but I would hope and pray that with it being a premier product versus a standard retail product, that they'd have more oversight. I think their communication back has been with the plastic yellowing. It's just a matter of new factory during COVID times, and normally where Hasbro will send representatives out to go to the factory and, hey, make sure that you're doing the things. They just went, oh, okay, you're saying you're doing the things? Awesome. We don't want to deal with the potential of, because I think those are some of the areas where it's like, hey, if you go over and someone on your airplane tests positive for COVID, everybody on the airplane stays in a hotel for 2 weeks and has no choice.
Yeah.
So can you afford to lock somebody down for half a month before they do anything, or do you trust the guy walking through the factory going, oh yeah, see, it all looks good, see, we're not showing you the pit of bodies behind us, we're cool. And so if something like that has occurred and then you don't find out about it until it gets stateside, well, I bet there was a whole lot of angry emails thrown about with yellowing showing up that soon. And if that were to happen to a HasLab thing, I think that they would work very hard to make that right.
Yeah.
Because that's your top tier. Those are your enthusiast fans that are trying to drive things versus little Timmy begging grandma for a robot toy.
Yeah, the level of QA on a HasLab product is going to be higher than your mainline figures.
It's just the time, right? You can have QA spent, at the factory during assembly and testing, but the time after the fact, when it gets into the hands of somebody, you can't QA that.
You can, actually. You make pre-production samples and then you run them through fatigue cycles, and you can do that. It's all stuff that though when you don't have inspection oversight on it, it'll go away. This is literally something that's part of my job. Come at me, bro.
Well, you need to get your Victory Saber then and test it for me before I get mine.
Well, I don't think it's that big of a production run.
Because I'm terrified about the yellowing, because I don't want it to be wasted. Is anybody else worried about it? Has anybody else thought about it? Yeah? Yeah. When the RC, what was it? The Cyberverse RCs were yellowing in the package on the shelves, that got me worried. So yeah, I'm glad other people are thinking about it and getting a little worried about it. So yeah, I'm holding some faith that they're thinking about it, because we asked the question on that last stream about what's going on and what's happening here, and they basically said what you said. So we can't get over there. We know about it. We're trying. We change factories. We change materials, and that's this is what's happening. We're doing our best to fix it and control it, but we can't do anything until we can get over there. But yeah,
I think if it did come up with yellowing, and Hasbro's smart enough, if the again fan premier product came up with yellowing, I think they would have a very hard time selling any future HasLab products, because anybody that touched the Transformers one that turned yellow would say, hey, what are you doing, and scare people out. So I'd hope that Hasbro's smart enough to make that right.
Will we give something else away?
You want another prize? Yes. All right. Who came the furthest? Who has traveled the furthest to be in this room right now?
Indiana.
Waterdown, Ontario, Canada. It's not the furthest, I know that, but it's pretty far.
All right.
It's your travel time. Let's go for travel time here.
Oh, just flew 2 hours from Tennessee.
Tennessee? Tennessee's pretty far.
That's pretty far.
Yeah. You beat me out from Indiana, but I drove.
Omaha, Nebraska.
That's a little further.
That's further. All right.
I'm going to say Winnipeg, just because Winnipeg to Toronto, Ontario is almost like a 3-hour flight.
Winnipeg's pretty far. It's still it's within Canada, but it's pretty far.
Calgary.
Oh damn!
every year since was Edmonton for a few years, and then Calgary since I moved there. Yeah. So yeah.
Calgary's pretty damn far.
I think Calgary gets it.
Calgary might get it, Mike. Seriously? Yep. What? Anybody can beat Calgary?
Well, here, hold on. Let's go.
The Earth is a sphere.
Calgary.
Is it the fact that it's techno? Does it disqualify him?
Let's go from here to Calgary. Google says
It's gonna destroy it. It's so far.
thinking. It's thinking 3,374 kilometers.
To Calgary, and you
And
said
that drives you back into the U.S.
that's
through-
as a bird flies.
through Chicago and like Wisconsin, Minnesota,
said
North Dakota,
Omaha?
back
So
up.
go to Omaha,
That is
Nebraska.
Omaha is like you're driving past Nebraska. So Calgary.
I don't know your funny geography, so
funny geography. It's a line on a map, and it goes past the line to get.
you traveled through space and time to get here, buddy.
Oh my gosh, great spot.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You get a gigawatt.
Congratulations.
Gigawatt.
What the hell is a gigawatt?
All right. Does anybody have any G1 figures in the room right now? All right. Two.
Come on up.
Two. Fantastic. Can you come up to the front and show me your G1 figures? I want to see them.
Is that the best pickup line?
Yep. Oh no!
So it's not in the room.
It's got to be
this
in the
room.
room. Yep. I want to see it. It's got to be Grimlock. Okay.
G1 Grimlock?
Oh, this is good. This is good. I like it.
Come up to the mic so we can hear you.
Come up right up to the table. I want to see it.
It's funny, I've had this thing, and I had to glue this thing on when I was a kid, and it's here 2 hours and it breaks.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, we don't have a G1 Grimlock.
I don't have any parts to fix it with you.
Look at it and everything, got a photo with him holding it. So.
Well, sir, because you are the only one in the room with a G1 figure, Toy Hacks gift card, $25. I may suggest fixing the Grimlock or putting that towards a different G1 figure. Okay.
Well, let's talk about some of the things we picked up at TFcon. So,
Yeah.
Aaron, what'd you get? What'd you get?
Whole lot of Iron Factory.
Okay.
I got their. I never know their names. So the Power Glide, the Scourge, that comes with the ability to make all of the sweeps.
Oh.
He has 4 different sets of shoulders, 4 different faces, and 4 different weapon configurations.
Did Mr. Vangelis, did he already co-op the heads and shoulders for those guys?
No, because he'd need more bodies. He was specifically talking about that. But then if he bought more bodies, then he'd have even more heads and more shoulder pads and more weapons. So then he'd need more bodies. But then you'd get those bodies and have more heads and oh no.
That's how they get you.
Scourgeception.
Yeah.
More like a scourge eating his tail.
And then also the Galvatron and then the Samurai Cyclonus.
Right on. Yeah.
And that's been,
Nice.
that was the majority of my Transformer stuff because that's always like what I tend to get at TFcons are those, like I said before, those pocket scale guys because they make for easy $40, $50 impulse buys and
they're so easy to transport. Yeah. Right on.
and I'm driving. I have a whole large SUV that could have been full to the brim and instead it's like, no, this could go just in the bag in the passenger seat.
You have a lot of space in the SUV, huh?
I do. No, I don't. I don't have that much money. I have extra con cash. I don't have that much extra con cash.
Let me talk to you about Unicron.
I saw it rolling around in a stroller was the first time I saw one in person and then touched it and went, wow, that's enough.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Transformer figure-wise, I bought a G2 Bumblebee at a parts party last night, and you gave me a G1 Bumblebee reissue.
I did.
So that was it in terms of figures. And then I got some arts. I got a commission from Livio. If you follow his Instagram, he posted a picture of a Darth Vader with part of the skull broken. That was mine.
Ramondelli.
Yeah, Livio Ramondelli. And then I have a commission from Andrew Griffith that is still in progress. I asked him just to do his version of Superman however he wanted to do it. So I have no idea what it's going to look like, and I'm very excited. And then I picked up a print from Andrew Wildman, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and then I got a Masterpiece Soundwave off Charles. Yeah. That was a today thing, so I forgot about it.
I mean, you don't have to count that.
Oh, yeah, the thing that I bought off of a friend, I guess that
Well,
counts.
I haven't actually paid him yet, but I do have
Oh.
possession of the figure.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, just run it.
Right.
Might be the best thing you got this weekend, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't count it.
So I picked up the IDW Rodimus, the Flame Toys model kit, which I think they told me I got the last one, so sorry, everyone. Also, I found the Transformers Choose Your Own Adventure, the Find Your Fate books, and yeah, so someone was selling. He had 4 of them. He had 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I was like, well, I bought them all, and then later on at Proto Man's parts party, he had book 3.
Oh, nice.
So, and he gave it.
It's almost like they planned it.
And he gave it to me, so that was nice. That was nice. Shout out to Proto Man. Also, I got to like one of the high points for me was meeting Andrew Wildman. I was a longtime comics collector since the '80s, so meeting Andrew Wildman and getting a lot of books signed by him was awesome. I bought I bought his sketchbook, and he did an interview with Transmission, so stay tuned for that.
This week on Alt Mode.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Getting to meet him and talk to him was great. So that was the high point of my trip.
No, I bought a lot of stuff. I was looking for Masterpiece Skids, and that was a hot ticket this weekend. And I stumbled upon one today, right at the end of the day.
Really?
It was buried right at the back of somebody's booth, and it was a little more than I was hoping to spend on it, but I was just happy to find it, so I bought it. And so I got that. I picked up a couple other little things. Some comic book art. I bought some original pages. Bought one from Andrew Wildman, one from Andrew Griffith, and I'm really happy with those. But I gotta say, out of all the toys and all the comic book stuff I bought, the highlight of my weekend for stuff I bought, and Jeremy showed it to me, was the little pieces of film from Paul Davids.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that too.
Those things were unbelievable. I couldn't believe the nostalgia cache that this guy was holding on to, and
he just cuts it off.
He just snip.
And the thing is, like, I was going through looking for a Jazz character for Alfie.
Sure.
And Jazz is very briefly in that episode, but infinitesimally small, and he did not have that production reel in there of everything. He had stuff before it and after it, so I got away without that. But that's the thing that's insane, because that just doesn't exist. There is exactly one of those cells in existence, and now you have it.
Yeah. So
so don't mess it up.
It's insane. I'm going to try not to, but again, it's in my possession now, and it's probably going to be ruined. I'm so thrilled to have that, and yeah, we all had the opportunity to go and get them, and they were small. They're just a few inches long, and they're $30. Yeah, sure, $30. But now it's yours now, right? And now you have this piece of history, and I'm just so grateful to be able to just own it. I grabbed a piece that's got Optimus Prime with his arms crossed, and I'm sure most of us got a lot of that piece because it was huge. It went forever.
I got some aerial bots on mine too.
You got some aerial bots. I got a piece with Starscream on it as well.
I got Perceptor and Megatron.
And I got a piece with Starscream and Megatron kind of talking, I guess. But I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch the episode because I want to see where these pieces are fitting into the episode because I'm very curious now.
You just start pointing, go mine.
Yeah.
The episode was Cosmic Rust, the season 2 G1 episode.
Yeah.
So.
It's one of the lesser known episodes. Sarcasm.
But he had all these other pieces of stuff that was not for sale. These, the production stills,
He had a couple of books of
storyboard stuff, and he had the animation cells of the fight between Tripicon and Metroplex that you could flip through and see it, in sequence. And that stuff blows my mind, So yeah, out of all the toys and all the other crap that I bought this weekend, that stuff, that's a highlight for me for this weekend for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
if any of you else got it, you probably are feeling very similarly to me, that's a big highlight for you too.
And if you missed out on seeing any of that, the Sunbow Archive online has a lot of the stuff from his collection. So you can see a lot of that stuff online. And also, Paul Davids is a magician, and we got him to do a magic trick on me and Charles.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I saw him just blowing a little kid's mind with like an erasing deck of cards. The kid was just, oh, how did you do that? And he flips it over and he brings it back.
He's
The
a
wonder of a child.
great guy.
Yeah.
So if you got a chance to interact with him, he's a fantastic guy.
Should we give something else away?
Speaking
Yeah.
of the animation in the movie, let's give away a steelbook of the '86 movie, huh? Anybody interested in that? I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. It came out a long time ago.
Yeah. And this is the Blu-ray Steelbook.
Blu-ray
This-
steelbook.
So this is the 30th anniversary, not the 35th anniversary. So
Yeah.
not 4K.
The cover art is done by Mr. Livio Remendelli. So there you go. This one we thought of a question, an actual question. So after Unicron, who are the first two named characters you see on screen?
Come on.
I know Albus is one of them.
Come on
up.
Come to the mic. We want to hear your voice on the podcast.
I know that Albus is one of them. I believe it's pronounced Albus.
It is not.
You know them. You go.
Kranix and Arbulus.
You're close.
Arminus.
It's probably one of the most mispronounced names
Yeah.
in Transformers.
Well, I'm sure someone will get it right.
I mean,
You got it.
oh, we got one more behind you that wants to try. Yeah.
Go for it.
Kranix is one. I'll give you that. It is one.
Arbulus, look, it's Unicron.
Yep. There you go. Come on.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There you go. Yep. 30th.
30th.
Yep. Yep.
I think that comes with a digital copy too.
I think so. Well,
If whatever the digital system
I think
is,
that
it's still
digital
up.
copy system is no longer.
yeah, it's
in
probably
operation.
expired.
Yeah.
The digital copy's probably
Yeah.
expired. Yeah.
So just put on an eye patch and a peg leg and
Yeah.
sail the seas.
No one would ever think to pirate any movie ever.
No, I was not talking about pirating a movie. I was just saying you could wear an eye patch. I don't know why you're intoning some sort of illegal methodology of procuring things and then putting it on like a really
The
big Plex
law in
server.
international waters is different. We're not.
They'll hit you on the way back into the U.S.
Who? I mean, I don't see any children in the room, but are there? Are there any kids in the room?
Outside of Darryl's.
Cool, let's go find any fly.
There's my own is in the back. No.
Any teenagers?
Okay. Yes, there are two teenagers.
One of them is again.
One of
your
them
child.
is my own.
We have one up front.
All right.
Come up. How old
Come
are
on.
you? Come on up.
We're going for the youngest fan here.
Youngest fan.
I'm 14.
Do you
Oh,
like
yeah.
Play-Doh?
Tough here.
Congratulations.
HasCon Play-Doh.
You can
This is
have it. You're the
HasCon.
youngest fan in the room, so there you go.
I've been listening to the podcast for a long time.
Oh, really?
awesome.
Wow.
Really enjoy it.
Well,
Awesome.
that's
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Wait, you're only 14. You've been
Oh,
listening
man,
for a
I
long
gotta-
time.
Probably like half his life.
I gotta stop swearing.
I've been listening for a while. I've been listening since I started really getting into the fandom of Transformers.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll be taking our walkers off the stage here shortly.
well, I mean, Transmissions is having its 9th anniversary in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh
cool.
man.
And that's fresh from HasCon 2017.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It is. It's labeled HasCon. It might actually, it should still be fresh. It's sealed, so you should be able to use it.
it's fun.
You get that hit of Play-Doh when you open it up. There's nothing like it.
That's right.
Why it took a couple of Transformers brand people with it.
Yeah, this is what gave them the idea to put the Play-Doh in those
Compound in the
in those siege.
I was trying to draw those guys back. Just please come back to Transformers. We love you.
What do you want?
And then
All right, let's,
They're whispering because they didn't plan too well beforehand. Don't let anyone know. Oh, wait.
the behind the scenes of the show is very unorganized.
This is what happens, like, the finished product of a podcast is edited for a reason.
So we have one more thing to give away. Well, we have
We have two. We have another toy hacks as
okay.
well.
Well, we have one more toy to give away. So I'm going to ask a transmissions question. So if you've been listening regularly, hopefully you should be able to get this question. If you're and
Just go for it. Just go for it. Just pull that Band-Aid off. Just
First
do it.
hand up, then. First hand up. Don't shout it out.
Okay, so this episode will be coming out this Wednesday. So what episode number will this episode be?
I don't even know that.
I see a couple people very furtively looking at their phones.
I would have to look this up.
Hold on. Let me roll over to my podcast app.
I will accept within within the ballpark. Let's say within 10. Oh, come on up. You raise your hands. Come on up.
I'm just guessing 954.
Sorry, that's too far.
It's too high.
Way too high.
Even we've not made it that far, so.
You were second. Come on up. No. Sorry. In the
black.
you in the black. Yeah. 294. Sorry, no.
Way too low.
Our youngest fan, maybe he knows. Coming up.
Around 395.
That's close. That's closer, but still too low. Okay, come on up.
You asked a very tough question.
I realize that's not the question that I told him to ask.
Yeah, I was expecting that question.
294.
How much?
Say it again?
294.
No.
That's too low.
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Let's just take turns shouting out numbers.
All right, come back up. Come back. In the.
No, well, at this point, go ahead.
Do it just to end the pain.
660.
No.
Charles.
That's correct. That is
Yes,
correct.
you did it.
494. 494.
Oh my goodness.
You might have looked at the website.
Stop the bleeding.
Hey,
Congratulations for.
All right, let's do the last toy hacks gift certificates for $25. If you've got a figure in the room that is stickerless, no stickers on it, I want to see it. Not the Grimlock. And you already got one. Come on.
So, your Bumblebee. He's got the chest sticker.
All right.
it can't be the figure, just one.
Do rub signs count? Like that's already put on.
That's, I mean, what do we got? What are we looking at? We got Starscream.
Classics, and then we got
RAD Galvatron.
We got RAD Galvatron. We got any third-party stuff?
What do we have in the back?
We got
All
any,
we see in the back are just hands.
we got any
So-
third-party stuff in the back? Because that stuff,
It's not Transformers related, but I got something.
he's already got a gift certificate. That's cheating. Come on.
It's not Transformers related, but it is stickerless. The Forza
That is a
Driver.
Common Rider Forza belt.
I don't know what you just said.
Yes.
What do you got back there? Yep. It helps.
Because they sell Transformer stickers.
Yep.
Come on, be proud of your toy.
All right. Let's, what's,
Hylian Shield doesn't have a sticker.
what do you think's the best one that we've seen here?
I love RID Galvatron. If
Yeah.
I've got to pick something, that's
a good
I would
one.
have to agree with
We
anything
gave
RID
him
2001.
Yeah.
we gave him the
yeah,
Inferno
but
already.
he's now coming up with the true win. Is that RID Galvatron? I got my boo I'm fighting for right now. He
Yeah, Minosaur, Minor Wars.
Oh, all right. If you figure out to pass that Inferno on, I'm happy.
40th birthday.
No way! Hey,
Oh, happy birthday.
over here. Oh, there you go. All right. So the last stuff we got, unless you got something else.
No, I don't. We're asking.
Just questions?
Yeah, we're
All
asking.
right. So we've got some stuff here for people who may have questions for us, and they are our Till All Are One comic that we had done. So it's the custom cover that we had done for Till All Are One #1. Yeah, the book's a little old now, but it's a customized.
It's amazing that you still have copies with your cover.
I know.
It's very amazing.
Yeah, you
that we
think
have-
those should all be graded and slabbed?
Now with IDW Publishing losing the license, these are going to be
Gonna go
collector's
up.
items, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to make a lot of money. We got lots of these.
Or else you're gonna have to start burning it
if
for-
you've got a
for
question
fuel.
for us, you're going to get a copy of this.
The cover is
So,
drawn by
Come
Alex
up to the
Milne,
mic and
colored-
ask a question.
Yeah, it's drawn by Alex Milne, colored by Josh Perez.
Any
and-
question?
That's right.
Please.
So, what would be your most memorable moment of your show? The most memorable moment that you've done in the past 9 years?
Oh my goodness!
I mean,
Now you're giving us hard questions.
That's an easy one for me because it was at when we were doing the panel at TFcon Chicago. This is just, and we were talking to Greg Berger about it today. It's just we were ready to do the panel, and in walks Greg Berger, and who were the
Gary
rest?
Chalk.
Gary
Jerry
Chalk
Chalk,
and
Richard Newman.
And Richard Newman, and they're like, "We're here for the panel." And we're like, "But it's the podcaster panel." We know. We're joining you. I'm like, "Oh." And then we just sitting up here with.
And it's just like alternating podcaster,
huge-
voice actor.
Yeah. It was unreal. It was surreal to be up there. You were there too, right?
In the audience, I believe. Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's got to be the best for me too, and just
Come up, give your
how
comment.
gracious the voice actors were, because they were getting the bulk of the questions, and like Greg Berger would redirect the topic to also relate to content creators and just make sure we were included, and that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Greg's great at that audience handling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are some guys that like they're here because they're voice actors and
It's a
whatever,
paycheck.
and then the questions kind of I'm just going to come back here because they don't have that mentality. But Greg has always got that.
No, he's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Another high point for me was this was when we went to TFcon Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Jeremy and I. We got to interview Greg Berger and Flint Dilley in our hotel room. Like they both came to our hotel room and sat down with us for like a half hour each and
Yeah.
did an
Great.
interview with us. That was magical.
Good.
What's your personal opinion on the 2001 Robots in Disguise?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is the best. I am like the lone 2001 fan on the podcast.
There's
Not
some-
up here.
Well, not up here because you're awesome.
Like
but,
you cut him, I'll cut him, and then it's just RID fans, so we're good.
Yeah.
I don't believe I said I hated
I
it.
don't mind it. It's just
I just
Don't mind it.
I wish that the whatever legal issues the rights
Thanks
for
for the
that
question.
show are, it could be worked out, because no one's going to see that show except on YouTube clips or whatever.
On the high seas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it too. It was fine. It was not my favorite show, but I enjoyed it.
Hi. Can I have a comic?
That's a question.
Come on up.
That's a question.
No duplicate questions. No duplicate questions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Anyway, Aaron, love your work. Seth Buzzard, great to finally meet you. Gog Dog, kick ass. And Vangelis. See you next year.
Wow. I got to lower my voice like 4 octaves for that.
I'm going to ask the questions, not for a comment. It's just a general one that I have. How is Yoshi doing?
He's doing
He's
okay.
doing good. He shot me a note about the audio quality like when we started the panel, so he's watching.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we love Yoshi. We miss him.
Tell him, we miss him and his G1 staunch commentary on the show. And hopefully someday he will find all the rubber tires that he's looking for.
Awesome, yeah.
You have a comic, you can get one. Yeah, that was a question.
Trust me, we've got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Anyone else? We got one more. Anybody?
more question?
There's,
Yeah.
there's like
We got 6 more? 6 more?
6 more.
Curious about what you think is going to be different in the toy business over the next 20 years versus what's happened over the last 20 years. What do you think will be different? What do you think doesn't change? I just wanted your point of view on that.
Whew, all right.
All right, okay, here.
This one's coming
This is
in.
where we get Aaron's professional opinion.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
Aaron, drop it.
I really think that big lines are. I think there's going to be a shift and change because we already kind of see it a little bit with just the width of stuff that we see in lines. That was like talking with Aaron Archer. He was saying that for Armada, in 1 year, he touched like almost 400 products. And like since then, we've definitely seen a contraction down because we used to, Armada was like 6 waves of toys or 7 waves of toys with 3 or 4 new items in each one. And now we're seeing maybe 4 or 5 waves with 2 or 3 things in each product line. I see that potentially being a constriction back down. And then on the flip side, as more and more people are getting things like 3D printers and those resolutions are getting better, you see people in the more like what we're doing versus what, little kids that are just getting a toy so that grandma will keep them entertained. I've seen places that, people that are modeling very cool spin-off designs that you pay $15 to get the file for it, and then you can print it on your own 3D printer. And I've seen some pretty interesting, there was somebody that was doing a bunch of like original Power Rangers, what you think of like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that was, you get this, here are the filament colors to use to match what we're looking for, and then it prints a big superposable thing like what you'd see as Soul Shikoken style deal, and hey, you do all of this and you buy these 14 screws and these 18 bolts and it all goes together. I see like that smaller design space being something that's growing a lot more. But like what the big companies are doing, I don't know if they know what that far out is. Unfortunately, a lot of those are like they're looking 3 years into the future as the like extent of their planning, and maybe like very vague schemes another 3 years after that. But even in the last 5 years, how much have toy prices gone up just because of pandemic and oil and everything else? And at a certain point, they're just going to have to hit a ceiling of like what Walmart will support. Will they support a $30 deluxe? Because that's getting way out of pocket money and into.
That's what they are here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm much more pessimistic when it comes to the way that the toy market is going, and for when it comes to the future of the toy market, I honestly think that it's going to be it's going to lean much more into a collector market. Mm-hmm. The days in which you walk into a Toys R Us, fortunately still here in Canada.
Say what? I saw.
So you walk into a Toys R Us for actual toys is going away. The amount of people I know with kids who have toys that they play with outside of Lego, which is still dominating, is so small, right? Nobody has a collection. No kid has a small collection of Transformers anymore, right? Although I'm sure you do, right? There's always exceptions to the rule, but I have a daughter who's a teenager, and she has friends and doesn't know anybody who has toy collections anymore. They all play video games and do all the things that kids do now. And nobody
They play the
collects toys.
Fortnites and do the dabbins and whatever the little kids are doing now.
They're always dabbing at each other and doing all these other crazy things.
Yeah, I worry that toys are going into the place that comics have gone. Comics used to be basically mass market for kids, and they sold millions and millions of copies. Now it's pretty much only not only, but mostly adults who are buying things, and comic prices have basically priced kids out of the market. Kids are not going to pay $5 for a 20-page comic book. I think kids are not going to be able to pay $30 or $40 for a deluxe toy anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen with toys in the future. I hope we can avert this future, but it seems like that's where things are going.
Yeah. In an attempt to not end this whole thing on a downer, one thing I think that has been positive over the last couple of years that I've seen Hasbro do is the way they interact with the fan community. Since conventions were not happening, they've done the Facebook streams, and then they've also, where at like New York Comic Con and stuff, they would bring a bunch of people from TFW, Sabertron, Allspark, Binyi, and show them all the stuff. But now they've opened it up to people like us too. Like we've been on a few of those streams where we get to ask the designer questions, and I think we're going to see more of that. Even though conventions are coming back, they've seen value in that, and I think multiple times we've told them how much value this provides to everybody. So I think they are starting to value the fan collector a little bit more on at least the marketing and the PR side of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know as a metric they talked back when MPO1 came out, and at that point in time I think Hasbro believed that the adult collector was something like maybe 20% of their market, where I would not be surprised if it is a lot closer to parity at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like I think we're bumping up to the end of the show, so I think we're gonna.
Anybody with a last question for a book? Come on.
Last minute question.
Anybody else?
What guest would you like to have on your podcast that you haven't already had a chance to talk to yet?
I think our white whales right now are Peter Cullen and Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Right.
But if there's who else we got on that list right now? We've hit a lot of our goals, which is really quite nice.
Yeah, I think voice actors are high up there, but in terms of media people or like comics and stuff, I don't know. They're so much easier to get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't had Jeff Senior. I think he'd be great.
Yeah.
You mentioned Neil Yomtov.
Yes.
No one really.
No one knows where he is.
Well, Andrew Wildman said.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase Andrew Wildman down and try and get Nell Yomtov's address out of him.
But I don't know. Outside of that, it's really
Show up at his house.
Frank Welker and Peter Cullen for me. I mean, and I don't believe we'll ever get them. I mean, if we do, then I won't have to accomplish anything else in my life.
Children, they're fine. They'll
I've
deal
already
with
had
themselves.
a child. So,
Yeah, but then whatever you can do, they'll deal with themselves.
Yeah.
Would you interview Pat Lee?
I mean, yeah, I would.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah.
I mean, we all know the stories, but why not? I mean, it would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We'd ask him the questions.
Yeah. I mean, enough time has passed, I think, that,
Yeah.
Well, I think his side of
Yeah.
we hear other people.
Right.
We never hear his. That'd be interesting.
One more question I had is, why is it that you are so passionate about this specific story franchise versus other ones? Like, what makes you different than a Star Wars fan who might favor Star Wars instead of Transformers?
We got one of those
What
too.
is it that
You
makes
got two
this
of
one
them.
be the one for you? So I was curious as to
Yeah.
the specificity. Why do you like this so much versus other things that you could have also been just as passionate about?
I mean, I definitely think part of it is like, imprinting as a small child. I was 8 years old in 1984, and I think the excitement of a toy that turns into one thing to another thing was always what captures your imagination. For me, I think a lot of the potential of what Transformers can be as kind of a media franchise, space opera, storytelling vehicle. Like you can tell so many different varied stories in Transformers. I think the almost 40-year history of Transformers has shown all the different kinds of stories you can tell in the context of giant transforming robots, and that's something that has always appealed to me. Not saying that of course I am also a Star Wars fan, a Marvel fan, all those other things. I love all those Star Trek, all those things, but Transformers has just always been top of my heart all the time. And also I think there's for me there's a little bit of I feel a little bit more ownership of Transformers, because I feel like Transformers gets kind of a bad rap for they're kind of relegated as a second tier because they are based on a toy franchise, and they're just a toy commercial. They're just was cynically just created to sell toys and nothing more. But I think a lot of what's been created as Transformers has grown beyond that, and I want to see it get the recognition that it deserves.
I agree a lot with that. I recently just took a deep dive into why people collect stuff and why we get into that, and we did a special episode about that, and where I chatted with a social worker and really dove into the mind of a collector, and I thought that's been a question that's been bouncing around in my mind for a long time. So if you don't listen to our show, then maybe check that out just as a one-off, because that was really fun, just to kind of go at it as a clinical level, just to see where why people collect things, and if there's something going on in our brains. But very similarly to Charles, it's the '86 movie. It traumatized us, so and it stayed with me, and that kind of stuff. So a lot of stuff happens to you as a kid, and I think you want to stay with something that hurts you. I don't know why. Why do we do what we do? And that's
baby, I'm sorry I made you angry.
But I don't know. I like the aspect of the transforming robots. The puzzle feature.
Mm-hmm.
I really get into that.
Yeah, I'd say mine is bits of that, and then also, since like most people that are adult collectors have generally had a dark age. Lego, you had a ton of Lego as a kid, and then, oh, you're too cool for Lego. And then you come back to it, and you're like, oh my gosh. For Transformers, I kind of had the same thing. And when I came back into it, I found a community as well. And there's a lot of it also that is that community. I found TFW 2005 and made friends there, and went to conventions and met some people that are, friends to family at this point in time in my life, and I've kind of been away from them for a couple years, and it's great to come back to a convention and see a bunch of the familiar faces that I know, and room with some of the best friends that I've had. That's been a consistent thing as an adult, that as a kid you have friends that are the people that are where you live, because that's the people you're around, and then later in life, when you find a community of like-minded individuals, and you have a lot of common interests, it then kind of can feed upon itself, because you have the shared interests, and then you can share your interest in those and have discussions with them, and call people out on bad calls and bad takes of not thinking that like RID Galvatron's a really great toy and should win a prize for being here, and things like that. But it all just like reinforces that thread, so that even through a global pandemic and not getting to see people, you still have those communications, those big chats that then brings it back. And so you stay in it because that's where your friends are, and your friends are in there, and so you stay in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I much the same. Like, I think we kind of got back into it around the same time, like late 90s, early 2000s. And that was like when I was finally like on my own, making my own money, and just kind of nostalgic for the past. And I had like caught up with Beast Wars, and then that kind of just fed everything. And then finding the people online, starting some online communities of my own, and just it's been the people in the fandom that has really sustained it for me. And then meeting the creators and like both of the cartoons and the comics and stuff, it's just such a great community in my mind that has just kept me going when like I work from home. So outside of family, I don't really see many people day to day. So it's just, being able to talk to these guys every week, and it just, I don't know, it just is, like you said, feeds on itself. And I know Star Wars does that for some people, other fandoms does it for some people, but for me, while I'm a big Star Wars fan, it's just Transformers was the one that always had the toys, always had
It's
the
home.
VHS. Yeah, it's home.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us and hanging out with us. If you have not checked out Transmissions, you can check us out online at transmissionspodcast.com. So we do 2 shows every week. We do a toy show and a comic show. We also have a Transformers RPG podcast, a live play RPG podcast that's called Empire of Rust. So 0. Darryl has not listened to any of our RPG podcasts. He's not on it either. But
I'm still waiting for the the right moment to get in on it.
If you see an episode come out that says Darryl, listen to this one. That's the one we forced him to listen to.
But yeah, so check us out there.
We'll have coming up soon related to that. We had me, Charles, Mike, and Dr. Pants, who couldn't make it this weekend, played the deck building game using Tabletop Simulator, and that'll be a series of, I think, 4 videos on our YouTube channel coming up soon.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we did mention it already, but we are celebrating 9 years this August on our podcast, and we're getting to episode 500 as well. So we're going to have 9 years and episode 500 in a few weeks. So
That's an episode 300 of alt mode. So
yes,
yeah, we do 2 shows a week, so it's like 800 shows, right?
So I was close.
Yeah.
Did you get a comic you can take?
And thanks, Aaron, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you to Aaron. Really.
Yeah. You want to plug anything before we go?
WTF at TFW is another podcast. We're not as regular as of late. We generally, I try and kick Chris often enough to make sure that we're still getting content out. But we've had a few bobbles and some slowdowns, but we're still out there, and we're still have a huge back catalog if none of the links have broken in the past decade and change. But yeah, we've gotten to also do a lot of interesting interviews of some people that I think also are no longer around. So if you want to do a deep dive into some prior show / hobby interests, it's there too.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a safe trip home.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.